Hi, I'm Matthew Wall. I work with the Halligan Fire Department. I'm a driver operator, been here about 2.5 years. And today we're going to go in and talk about the Halligan. Now before we get started, we'll take care of a few things. This is a fairly small room. We have one exit, that door over there that leads out to the hallway, and two double glass doors. If there's an emergency, that's how we will proceed out of the building. We also have two bathrooms, men's and ladies, to the right once you exit this room. And for smoking areas, we do have that on the pad outside the two double glass doors. We will have designated bathroom breaks and smoke breaks. I would like to ask you to not use any tobacco products and to please silence your cell phones. And with all that done, we're going to go into our presentation. So, our objectives are to cover the Halligan bar, the working ends, its uses, the safety that we need to take to use the tool safely, and the maintenance of it. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Alright. So, it's steel construction with chrome plating, ranges from 30 to 36 inches in size, about 9 to 11 pounds. Ours right here is about 11 pounds. We have three basic working ends. So, we have our fork end right here. We have our adze end, and we have our pike. And then we have our handle. It's a three-piece tool, and this one is actually known as a Halligan. Halligan meaning it is not one monolithic piece. It is pinned here at the fork and at the adze and pike, and at the fork right here. And the rest of the slides going over what we just talked about. Now for forcible entry, typically the Halligan is not used on its own. It's typically paired up with a flathead axe like this, and when they're put together they're known as the irons. You can also use a sledgehammer if you need to get a little bit more oomph with it, and that's known as the commercial irons, especially for commercial buildings, metal doors, reinforced. You're going to want that extra oomph with it. Anybody have any questions before we continue on? Maintenance. So whenever we're looking at the Halligan bar, we want to make sure there's no burrs on the edges, especially of the adze, no cracks, anything that can make the tool unsafe to be used or less effective. We're going to want to sharpen all the working ends, the pike, the adze, and the forks. We don't want to over sharpen it, because when we over sharpen it can lead to rolls being formed on the edge or for it to crack. So be careful with that. And like most things in the fire service, clean it with warm water and mild soapy detergent. And for extra corrosion resistance, add a thin coat of oil, and your log should do. For PPE, we want to have at least a minimum of our helmet, our gloves, and some kind of eye protection. Shield will probably work on your helmet, but having extra eye protection is not a bad idea. If we're working in an IDLH, smoked out, any heat, obviously we want to have our full turnouts on, SCBA, all that. Obviously check your surroundings, make sure there's not anything you're going to hit, or break, or hurt yourself or somebody else. Make sure you're not caught in the pinch point. If you're caught in the pinch point, you're probably only going to do it once. It's going to hurt you. Does anybody have any questions before we continue?
How do you get caught in a pinch point?
You get caught between the tool and the object you're trying to use the tool on.
Alright.
Say if you're pulling it inwards towards you, you'll get caught up. So in summary, 30 to 36 inches, 9 to 11 pounds, three basic working ends. Can be used for forcible entry, purchase points on vehicles for extrication, anything you can think of, preventive maintenance, we'll inspect it, make sure there's no cracks, burrs, and clean it, oil it. And obviously, if you're operating it, you need some PPE. Anybody have any questions before we go to our quiz? Alright, that concludes our presentation for today. We're gonna pass out a quiz and attendance sheet, and we'll be done. Thank you.